What's up, Kansas City? This segment of Pastor's Corner is brought to you by 777 Construction. Tired of dealing with loser contractors? Then get with the winning team for all your residential and commercial contracting needs. 777, their phone number is 816-349-1517. What's up, Kansas City? Once again, I'm so grateful that you're with me today. We have a very special guest, Pastor Delores Williams of Equipping the Saints Ministry. How's it going today, Pastor?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Awesome.
Right.
We're actually going to, if it's okay with you,
Sure.
We're going to kind of hit them a little hard today with some topics. I want to talk a little bit about racism and social media, and also a little bit about what are our roles of the church.
Okay.
Or should we try to tackle racism? What should we do about those type of things?
Well, I believe that the church should play a part in everything,
Okay.
and especially racism, because it's a big thing. You know, I believe that will we ever kill racism? No, but we can help prevent it and slow it down.
Okay.
You know, the church really need to turn, as the kids say, turn up. You know, you know, our methods. You think about anything we do in life, the books always change. Technology always change. So the church has to change in this origin or this segment for is racism, because if we don't let children be more diverse, you know, and then we don't let them be able to embrace different cultures, that's the reason why we have so many kids. It's hard for them to adapt when they go to a college that may be a diverse college, you know, versus all black college, you know what I'm saying? So, because we don't live in an all black world, we don't live in an all white world, but we live in a world of diversity.
And when we think about racism, a lot of times, you know, we think about white on black racism, but I believe that there's black on black racism as well. Do you?
Most indeed. You know, sometimes as African American culture, we can kind of hurt ourselves with the words that we speak to each other. Not just only with just the crime, you know, for the shooting, the drinking, the, you know, and drugs and those things, but we can speak negative words just because you see someone else is trying to make a difference in someone's life or in their own life. Oh, it's not going to work, you know. So words are very powerful.
I agree with you. And I think something else that we need to deal with and look at from a cultural perspective is we can't talk about each other and then get mad when somebody else talks about us.
Yes. Because, you know, a house that is divided, it would never stand. It would never have foundation. You know, being able to have the power to speak life is a great tool that God gave us.
Do you think that we should start doing more empowerment conferences about all subjects, racism, self-esteem, how to handle anger?
Most definitely.
And at what age is it appropriate? Do we start with 5? Do we start at 13? Because a lot of kids, the first time they maybe encounter racism, their first thought would probably be to fight or retaliate. It would not be to say, oh, I'm going to be mature and say this person is ignorant.
Right.
But if you teach them that this does exist, you may encounter these type of situations or people in life, and this is how you deal. But is that the responsibility of the parent? Is that the responsibility of the church?
It's all of us.
Okay.
Everybody plays a part, you know, because if my thing of it is, if you're around it, you breathe it, you see it, you'll become it.
Okay.
You know, so I believe that we can do more, like you said, conferences or just doing, I like rap sessions, you know. I know some of the radio stations here do, you know, different rap sessions, but we need, as the church, to really be involved so that we can show them the godly principles of applying those things, so when that situation will occur, they can have more or a substantial ground, you know. I was thinking about the little boy that they said was down in Atlanta, Georgia, that got kidnapped or whatnot, and he sung a praise song.
For 3 hours.
Now, just show you what power that is for us just being in church, learning a praise song.
And they let him go. They got sick of him singing
Most
that
indeed.
praise song, and they let him out.
So I believe it starts at the church.
What about social media? Do you feel
Lord.
let's tackle social media a little bit,
Yes.
and what role does that play? And do you feel that it is being used in a positive or negative way?
Most of the times we see about social media as being in a negative way. You know, everything is so amped up on what's wrong, and the stuff that's on social media, the good stuff, you barely see. You know, I thinking about that myself. You know, a lot of stuff that I may put on there about health, fitness, you know, scriptures, I get a few likes. But if it's something about something negative,
It have 1,000 likes.
right?
Like, nobody likes my stuff.
Right. So, you know, we really need, for as parents, really to turn it up and look at our kids' Facebook page. We need their passcodes. You know, we need to know what their email accounts are. You know, we want to know if you opening up a different account. This is the account that I let mom or dad see, or grandma or grandpa. You know, we need to know what's going on, because what effect it is doing in our community is causing you to have a profile. So if you go out and look for a job, I don't care if it's McDonald's. They're going to see what you're saying on your Facebook page, and they're going to build your character off of the stuff you've been saying on there.
I want to, since we were talking a little bit about social media, I want to go back and bring up something about India Martin. She was the 14-year-old who was murdered in Chicago. Wow. She was gunned down by one of her friends, and it was over a boy, and it stemmed from some words they had exchanged on Facebook. A few things disturbed me. One was that 14-year-olds have Facebook pages.
Right.
I mean, I'm 37. I think I just only had my Facebook page for like 1 year.
Wow.
And then the fact that she had the gun, the suspect had the gun, couldn't get it to work, gave it to somebody else. They got it to work, handed it back to her, and she proceeded to gun down the girl in the back.
Oh my God.
And people were there on their cell phones, on social media, videotaping. There were crowds of people. Nobody tried to stop the fighting. Nobody tried to intervene. Nobody tried to take the gun. What type of society are we becoming that we just want to sit around and just watch the violence?
Right. You know, it's sad to say, you know, and I believe it all started when we start watching the drama talk shows, and they screaming, fight, fight, fight,
Right,
fight,
right.
fight. You know, it's really sad, and we really need to come up in that area, because who's going to take the time or the initiative to be responsible for somebody else's child when the parent is not there? I know when I grew up, I couldn't even ride my big wheel in the street, or my neighbor gave me a spanking, and even though mom wasn't there yet, she came up there and said, your daughter was riding the big wheel, you know, and I got her, you
Right.
know. And it's sad. It's a sad thing when you said the suspect gave the gun to someone else, and they fixed the gun and then gave it back. The church, we really have to put a message out there for, you know, for us giving people the information of empowerment, you know, or getting a mindset change. If you don't get the mind of a person or the root of a person, you'll never get the fruit or the attributes that it distributes. So we really need to come up in those areas. It's such a sad thing for a 14-year-old to lose her life.
And I wasn't even dating when I was 14. I didn't even have a boyfriend in high school, and barely had one in college. And I'm thinking, why are our kids not thinking about going out for ice cream, or even going to college, or going to a pep rally, going to a basketball game? It's almost like kids don't know how to be kids. They're just many grown folks.
Most definitely. And it goes back to what you do at home. You know, if you got cable TV, nowadays you don't even have to have cable TV.
Regular TV is so criminal minds, and
I mean, teaching you how to do this and do that.
and then how to get away with it.
Most definitely. So I think the environment, even with what we see on TV, and as the body of Christ, we really need to stand up and really go to these television stations and let them know that, we don't want this aired. I remember years ago, certain things couldn't get aired on TV, that kind of stuff.
Even on the radio.
1 and 3 in the morning, and you supposed to be asleep. Well, in my house, we were asleep. So it's really a sad thing. And when we just sitting back waiting for someone else to step up, if Martin Luther King would have never stepped up, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, I wouldn't even be driving a bus. Okay, so it's just that it's time for people, not of gender or color, but just people in general to step up and really stand for the things that's going to be able to bless your community, be able to cause your children to grow, for your kids to be educated, for your kids to grow. My kids, I said, I never want to see you drive a bus. Why would you say that, Pastor D? Because I believe that they can own the bus company.
Amen.
You know
Amen.
what I'm saying? So, you have to speak positive, and you have to look besides where you at right now.
That's a good point. And I always say, I believe that the church should dictate what's going on, not the world dictate to the church. And I agree with you. I believe it starts at home. I believe it starts at church. And it goes back to God instituted the family before he instituted the church. So if we as a community of people, parents, aunties, uncles, cousins take our rightful place. Another sad thing about the story in Chicago, the suspect actually got the gun from her cousin, her uncle, who was 25 years old.
Wow.
Now, why would a 25-year-old, and he caught the bus to give her the gun? And he was paralyzed because 3 years earlier, he had been involved in an altercation in the streets. So she came from a history of violence.
Right, and see, that's the thing, going back, understanding where you come from and understanding your culture. If you don't ever know where you come from, you won't understand where you're trying to go, and you 9 times out of 10 won't get where you need to be. So, it's a sad thing, especially in our culture, when we're so quick to give a gun and not a book. When we're so quick to give them a drink or something to smoke, and we won't take them.
Instead of a kind word, right? Won't take them to church or to the grocery store.
Just to the art museum. You know what I'm saying? Things that are free. We always think about doing things that, use money. You can do environmental, architectural, or go to Blue Springs, Rural Oaks. That's a awesome place to learn about nature.
I've been there. It sure is. The Burr Oaks is awesome.
Yeah,
Something you mentioned earlier, you said a lot of people have never, their environment hasn't changed. You said a lot of people have never been on a golf course, but most business deals happen on the golf course.
Most definitely.
What is it that we can do to get our kids or our youth to know that there is a world outside of there other than your immediate neighborhood or your city or your state?
Well, as I say, as the church, we need to pull together. It's not about membership. It's not about who's coming and paying tithes. But it's about building programs and going through the community and getting our vans full and taking them on trips, and we paying for it.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes the parents just don't have the money. People are making decisions whether I'm going to buy something to eat or I'm going to go to work. You see what I'm saying? So, if the church, if we really, and especially I scream this out to the big,
mega
churches and stuff like that really have the funding, or some that may have grants. We really need to pull together, little church, big church, medium church, all church, and really start doing those outings, taking them out of their environment. Can we call Swope Parkway, Swope Park golf course, and see if we can teach the kids how to play golf and really, or chess, or, get them out of their environment, I'm not targeting so much as the African American children, but I'm just speaking in general. Even can we go to some of the different schools and have mixers and we be chaperones there, and that gives the parents as well as the child to be able to intermingle with other race and other cultures and things of that, and have food there. If you're a Latino, you might have Mexican food. What I'm saying? I mean, if you're Italian, you might have Italian food. I mean,
growing up food was our basis. We always sat around the table. We got to talk about our day. I mean, literally, food was our social media. Everybody showed up if we knew it was going to be food on the table. Now, in our last few minutes, I want you to tell us what we can do one person at a time to affect change, and then tell us where we can locate Equipping the Saints Ministry and all your information.
Okay. Well, I believe one way that we can make change is standing up. I don't care where it is. I'm not scared.
Amen.
I'm not afraid. And being shamed is being confused. So, even on my bus, if I hear, young kids, they get on there talking, cussing, no, we're not going to do that on here. Young man, pull your pants up. You're a handsome dude. Speak life back into them.
Amen. Because you can have what you say.
You can speak stuff into them maybe their parents is not speaking in them. You know what I'm saying? Well, I always was told that I'm nothing. Yes, you are. You're great. You're mighty. You're a mighty man of valor. You know what I'm saying? And when you be able to speak life, those kids remember it.
They will respect you for that.
Most definitely. Just using for a testimony, I had a young man that I've been a drummer forever, and the Lord sent him into a previous ministry that I used to be the head drummer, and the Lord told me to get up and let this man play. Young, 14 years old. Now, in that, he learned how to read. I taught him how to read music. He ended up being a great drummer. I mean, awesome. Then, him learning how to be a great drummer and learning how to read music, he started learning how to play all different type of diverse instruments, and now he has a full ride at Jackson State University. Just by me getting up and letting him. So in that, just make a stand. They might cuss somebody else. They might curse at first, but just tell them I'm doing this because I love you. I don't want the police to come here and take you down. I want to see you every day on my bus. You see what I'm saying? I want to see you every day in my barbershop, So in that, just making a stand. And you can locate Equipping the Saints Ministry at 3151 Olive. That's in the Linwood United building. We're right upstairs in room 10. And you also can email us at etsministries12@gmail.com.
Excellent, excellent. I would so like to thank all of you all for watching, and I'd like to thank my special guest, Pastor Delores Williams, for being here with us. Please make sure that you go to What's Up Kansas City and check out all of our other great interviews. Thanks so much for watching, and have an awesome evening.
CMG wants you to always remember, the victory we call success goes to the best prepared. When you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Thanks.